Sorry to drop in like this. Nobody was at the house.
The morning air at Heartland is crisp, carrying the faint scent of hay and earth, a promise of a new day filled with possibility and tension. Amy walks through the barn, her mind racing over yesterday's events. The quiet laughter with Nathan, Dex's unexpected persistence, and Jack's struggle with hearing that has left him more withdrawn than usual. Her fingers brush over Powder's mane as she prepares the horses for training, but even the familiar routine cannot calm the whirlwind of thoughts in her head. Nathan is nearby, fixing a fence with a quiet focus that masks the storm beneath his calm exterior. His presence is comforting yet electric, a reminder that unspoken feelings can weigh heavier than words. Dex's determination is palpable as he circles the paddock on his rented horse, his youthful energy brimming with ambition. He is eager to prove himself, to impress, to show that his life can be more than mistakes and missteps. But every time Jack glances at him, the older man's eyes betray a caution, a fear that history might repeat itself. Jack's patience has limits, and Dex's persistence is pushing against them. Jack's voice carries across the barn, firm yet restrained. You can't rush this. Riding a bull takes more than courage. It takes respect, balance, and trust. And you haven't earned all three yet. Dex nods, his jaw tight, but his eyes burn with determination. The tension is not just about bull riding, it's about learning to trust, about proving oneself in a world that can be unforgiving. Meanwhile, Katie is hunched over her notebook, scribbling ideas for her latest story while occasionally glancing toward the paddock. She's absorbed in her words, but Dex's arrival and the palpable tension with Jack keep pulling her focus. She notices the small ways Amy and Nathan communicate, the brief glances, the unspoken words, the moments where timing and timing alone seem to carry their emotions. There's a subtle electricity that neither of them wants to admit out loud, a quiet understanding that some things are too significant to rush, too delicate to force. Amy steps away from Powder and wipes her hands on her jeans, her heart catching as Nathan approaches. He's not smiling, but there's a softness in his gaze that disarms her. He stops a few feet away, the fence post between them, a silent barrier that mirrors the hesitations of their hearts. Amy, he begins, his voice low, careful. Can I ask you something personal? The air tightens around her chest. She nods, unsure if she's ready for the weight of whatever question he's about to ask. There's a pause, heavy and measured, before he continues. Across the ranch, Jack's hearing struggles create a quiet tension. He's trying to participate in the usual morning chatter with Lou and Lisa, but every conversation feels like a puzzle missing pieces. He nods, smiles, and occasionally mutters affirmations he doesn't fully hear, trying to maintain the facade of normalcy. Yet, Dex notices, and while he respects Jack, he can't ignore the frustration that seeps from the older man. Even small mistakes in communication feel amplified when emotions are raw. Tia Miller arrives unexpectedly, her presence stirring memories and past worries for Amy. There's a tense acknowledgement of previous misunderstandings, but Tia's demeanor is calmer, her intentions clearer than before. She approaches Amy with cautious warmth. I wanted to make sure you knew Polaris's tooth issue, it wasn't your fault, she says, sincerity softening her tone. Amy exhales, relief mingling with residual anxiety. The shadow of blame that once hovered over her feels lighter, yet the reminder of past doubts still stings slightly, an echo of old insecurities. Nathan shifts his weight, watching Amy absorb Tia's words, and for a brief moment, The ranch feels suspended in a bubble of quiet reflection. The horses nicker softly. Dex tightens his grip on the reins, and Jack fidgets with the tack, each of them caught in their private battles. While the day stretches ahead, Nathan finally takes a breath, his gaze locking on Amy once more. The weight of his next words is palpable, a thread pulling at the edges of Amy's heart. If everything worked out, would you ever think about marrying again? The question hangs in the air like a delicate crystal, clear and fragile, threatening to shatter the calm facade of the morning. Amy's heart stops. She feels the world narrow, the sounds of hooves and voices fading as she stares at Nathan, searching for the meaning behind his words. It's not just a question, it's a mirror, reflecting fears, hopes, and unspoken emotions. Nathan waits, patient, knowing that the answer is more than words. It's a testament to healing, trust, and the courage to be vulnerable. Dex senses the tension but chooses silence, watching the exchange as an outsider yet understanding the gravity of it. Jack, unaware of the moment unfolding, continues his work, oblivious to the emotional storm building a few feet away. The morning sun climbs higher, casting a golden glow over Heartland, but inside Amy, time seems to stretch and bend. Nathan's question lingers, a gentle but insistent weight pressing against her chest. She exhales slowly, her hands tightening slightly on the reins of powder, as though the familiar grip can anchor her thoughts. The ranch feels alive with movement. Dex pacing his horse, Jack hammering quietly on the fence repairs, Katie still scribbling away. But Amy's focus narrows to Nathan, to the vulnerability and hope in his gaze. Nathan watches her carefully, the muscles in his jaw tense, revealing just enough of his own inner turmoil. He wants an answer, but he also knows some truths cannot be rushed. I mean, only if you're ready, only if it's something you want, Amy, he murmurs, stepping closer but still respecting the invisible line that holds them apart. Amy's eyes flicker with uncertainty, the memories of past losses and fears rising unbidden. She thinks of her children, the ranch, and all the responsibilities that tie her heart in knots. And yet, there's a part of her, quiet and stubborn, that has always known Nathan holds a place that no one else can fill. Meanwhile, Dex is growing restless. He circles the paddock, the tension in his muscles mirrored by the worry in his eyes. Jack's patience is fraying, each correction and stern word met with youthful insistence. Balance isn't just about your body, Dex, Jack says, voice sharp but fair. It's about knowing when to push, when to stop, and when to trust yourself. You can't force it. Dex bites his lip, nodding, but the fire in his gaze refuses to dim. He's driven not only by his dream of bull riding, but also by the unspoken need to prove himself. To Jack, to Amy, and, most importantly, to himself. Katie, sensing the subtle shift between Amy and Nathan, tries to focus on her own work, but is pulled repeatedly by the energy between them. She scribbles notes furiously, but her eyes keep straying toward the paddock, toward the barn, toward the quiet corner where Nathan and Amy are caught in a delicate moment. There's a story unfolding there, richer than anything she could write. Unspoken emotions, shared glances, and the tension of possibilities neither wants to name aloud. Her fingers pause over the pen, realizing that some narratives cannot be captured in words, only in moments. Back near the barn, Tia Miller's visit has unexpectedly softened the atmosphere. Her acknowledgement of Polaris's tooth issue has lifted a shadow that had hung over Amy for days. Amy's shoulders relax slightly, and a faint smile touches her lips. Tears remind her that forgiveness and understanding can arrive even from those who once doubted her. "I know it wasn't easy," Tia says gently, "but you were right about Polaris all along. Thank you for your patience." Amy nods, a lump forming in her throat, grateful for the resolution but aware that not every problem has such a clear answer. Dex approaches Jack again, determination etched into every line of his face. "I'm ready to try again," he says, voice steady but vulnerable. Jack studies him carefully, weighing not just his skill but his character, his resolve. "You're not just asking me to teach you how to ride," Jack says, eyes narrowing slightly. "You're asking me to trust you. And trust isn't something you can earn overnight." Dex swallows hard but meets Jack's gaze without flinching. "I want to earn it," he replies quietly, a conviction that surprises even himself. The intensity in Jack's eyes softens ever so slightly, the line between frustration and respect beginning to blur. Amy and Nathan's conversation is interrupted briefly by the distant sound of Dex's horse moving too fast across the paddock. Nathan glances toward the sound, then back at Amy. "We're not alone," he says softly, but the private weight of his question still hangs between them. Amy exhales, realizing she doesn't need to answer immediately. Sometimes words are dangerous in their immediacy. Sometimes silence holds more truth. Her hand brushes lightly against Powder's mane, grounding herself in the simple rhythm of the horse's movements. Nathan's gaze lingers on her hand for a moment longer, sensing her hesitation and understanding its depth. Later, Jack's frustration with Dex escalates as the younger man struggles with a tricky maneuver. Dex's determination collides with Jack's strict expectations, and the tension in the air becomes almost tangible. "You're too stiff," Jack calls, trying to correct him, but Dex shakes his head. "I have to do this my way sometimes," he insists. The clash is not just about riding. It's a reflection of life, of learning to balance freedom with guidance, trust with control, and dreams with reality. Jack's jaw tightens, and for a brief moment, Dex fears the conversation might end in anger. But Jack takes a deep breath, letting some of his own frustration go, and quietly instructs Dex again, softer this time. "All right, try it like this. Carefully."